Hi, and welcome to Angie's Tasty Tuesday, brought to you by Transition Nutrition and Fitness Coaching. I'm Angie, and I'm here almost every Tuesday to bring you a new and delicious recipe that you can incorporate into your family's weekly menu. Today, I'll be highlighting a new machine that is all the rage in the whole food plant-based scene, and that is the Ninja Creami. The one thing that is a little bit of a drawback is you do have to make your nice cream 24 hours before and freeze it in the freezer. But if you're like me, you can make several of them in advance and then pull out the one you want to use for that day. So today we will be using the Vitamix to make it and then the Ninja Creami to mix the ice cream later. So let's get started. So because butter pecan ice cream was one of my favorites before I went whole food plant-based, that was the recipe I wanted to try to master first with my Ninja Creami. So what I've done is I've taken 1.5 cups of Japanese sweet potato. Now these are the ones that are purple or kind of garnet on the outside, but white on the inside. Bake it the night before at 425 for about 45 to 50 minutes, depending on the size of the potato. Let it cool in the fridge overnight. Then I've chopped it up into chunks. I'm going to put that right into my Ninja. With that, I'm going to add 1 cup of soy milk. Now, you know if you watch my channel that I normally use unsweetened cashew milk. I tried that. It's a little bit too icy for my taste. This comes out a lot more creamy using the soy milk or either oat milk, which tends to be a little bit thicker than almond milk or cashew milk. I have 1/2 tablespoon of date sugar, 1 tablespoon of maple syrup, 1 teaspoon of vanilla, and 1/2 teaspoon of caramel extract, and 2 teaspoons of butter pecan extract. That's all there is to it, and now we're going to put the lid on it and mix it up. So sometimes your potato is a little drier than others, and this one is a little bit thick. So I'm actually going to add, it's more like mashed potatoes instead of a creamy mixture. So I'm going to add about another 1/4 cup of soy milk and blend that in just to make it a little bit creamier before we freeze it. Next, we're going to pour our mixture into our pint container for our Ninja Creami. And we want to make sure we don't go over that fill line. And even with the fill line, sometimes I try to shoot just under it so that when it freezes, if it expands to it, I don't have to take out too much to do my mix-ins or my add-ins when I make it later on. Sometimes you have to add a little bit more soy milk to it, depending on the temperature of your freezer. If it's a little too cold, it'll make it icier, and to get it to that ice cream consistency, you have to add a little bit more of the soy milk to get it to that ice cream consistency. So you want to make sure it's nice and level on the top. Pop the lid on it and freeze it for 24 hours. So now that this is set overnight in the freezer, we're going to take off the lid and we're ready to use our Ninja Creami. Now you'll notice this has a little, what I call a volcano on the top. And in order for this machine to work correctly, it's like a drill press that comes down all in one piece. So the top of whatever you're creaming has to be level. So you simply just take a spoon and scrape across the top until you can take the extra little bits and kind of measure them out or level them out around the container so that it will come down at the same height at the same time all the way around your ice cream or nice cream. Because you don't want, the problem is if it doesn't go through level, it can actually scrape the sides of the plastic container, and you don't really want little bits of plastic in your nice cream. So just make sure the top is mostly level. Then we're going to take our machine, pull out the container. This container has little notches on the bottom that fit into the notches of the base of the machine. Then it has nice little lines that show you exactly how to line up the lid, lock it in place, sit it here, then you twist it to the left and it rotates up and locks into the press up in the top. We're going to hit the power button, and then we're going to hit the ice cream button for this because this particular recipe does have quite a bit of milk in it, or nut milk in it. It's more like ice cream than it is sorbet. If you're using simply fruit or fruit with just a little bit of milk, you want to do the sorbet setting, but this has quite a bit more, so we're going to use the ice cream setting, and it takes about 2 minutes and 20 seconds to spin. All right, so we're going to take the lid off, and sometimes depending on how dry your potato is, when you look, if it seems a little crumbly or not quite as smooth, this is pretty good, but if it's not quite as smooth as you would like it to be, you can always add just a tad bit more of the soy milk and then hit the, and then spin it again. You don't want to hit the respin button, but you can put it back and go through the same cycle you just put it through, and that will cream it up just a little bit. So for this one, that potato was a little bit dry. I'm going to put it through the process again, and then we'll be right back. All right. You'll really be able to see the difference this time as to how much creamier it looks, and it looks just like a regular normal whole milk or ice cream, dairy ice cream you would get at the store. The next thing we want to do is do the mix in, and you'll notice it has a mix in button on the front, and I've got about 1/4 of a cup of pecan pieces that I'm going to drop right down in that hole, and then I'm going to put it on the mix in mode and mix in my pecans into the base of my butter pecan ice cream. Now that we've done our mixing, we're ready to dish up our nice cream. And you can see that this makes a beautiful textured ice cream, very similar to what you would get in a regular dairy ice cream. Very pretty. It makes a pint, and the good thing about it is you can stick whatever you don't use back in the freezer, respin it the next day when you're ready to have your ice cream. There we have our beautiful butter pecan nice cream. I hope your family enjoys it as much as mine does. Not only is it healthy and nutritious, but it tastes delicious. And until next time, remember, you can find more of these videos here and here. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button. We're only 4 viewers away. Remember, plants are the best medicine.